Welcome to the Mixed Media Ventures podcast, your go-to for smart, actionable digital marketing strategies to grow, scale, and win in today's online economy. Join us now for our latest episode.
All right, let's unpack this. We are diving headfirst into what is, I think, arguably the most significant transformation happening in digital advertising right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Meta's massive all-in commitment to artificial intelligence. It feels like almost overnight, AI went from being, a nice feature, maybe a slight edge, to becoming the absolute bedrock of how Meta wants advertisers to operate. Across Facebook, Instagram, their whole ecosystem.
It's a seismic shift, truly. And for anyone putting their ad budget, their resources onto these platforms, it immediately brings up a really fundamental and, let's be honest, kind of challenging question.
Which is?
In this new AI first world Meta's building, can you actually trust Meta's AI? Like with your actual money, can you hand over those critical decisions to an algorithm?
That's the core question, isn't it? And it's exactly what our source material digs into. This deep dive is built on a strategic guide, a really insightful piece written by the president of a digital marketing agency. Yeah. So this isn't just theory. It's coming from someone who's right there, in the trenches, watching this unfold day by day, seeing how these AI tools are really affecting campaigns for agencies and their clients.
That perspective is so valuable.
Yeah.
Because they're not just reporting on Meta's announcements, right? They're interpreting what it means on the ground for real businesses trying to get actual results.
Exactly.
They get the potential, the excitement around the tech, but they're also super aware of the practical hurdles and potential pitfalls when you hand over the reins to a machine.
Precisely. So our mission here in this deep dive is to meticulously unpack this source. We want to understand exactly what these Meta AI advertising tools are like, get past the buzzwords to the actual mechanics.
Right.
Then we'll weigh the really compelling case the source makes for using them. And believe me, the potential benefits, especially the source cites, they're pretty significant.
Yeah, the numbers are persuasive.
But we also have to tackle the legitimate, sometimes maybe uncomfortable concerns that the source brings up. Ultimately, we're aiming to synthesize the frameworks, the sort of rules of the road, the strategies that this source suggests for finding that crucial balance.
Okay.
How do you actually combine human strategic direction with AI execution? It's about getting past a simple yes or no on trusting AI and getting to that more nuanced, strategic, it depends. Understanding when you trust it, how you trust it, and crucially, under what conditions you keep that human control.
And for you listening, whether you're, say, a small business owner managing your own ads, or maybe a marketing director with a big budget, or working in an agency trying to figure this out for clients, this deep dive should give you the insights, the right questions to ask, maybe some frameworks to think about. So you can navigate this whole changing landscape effectively, strategically, and hopefully with a bit more confidence.
It's about being empowered, not just overwhelmed by it all.
Exactly. Being empowered.
Absolutely. So as you said, before we can even decide if we trust it, we need to know what it actually is. What are the specific AI-powered tools and capabilities Meta has rolled out and is pushing advertisers towards, according to our source? What's actually in this AI toolkit?
Well, the source breaks it down into several key components. And it's important to see them as integrated systems, not just, separate little features. They really represent a fundamental change in how the platform works and the recommended way to use it.
Okay. And the foundation, the thing Meta is really emphasizing as the cornerstone of their AI strategy.
Exactly.
Advantage Plus campaigns.
That's the big one, yeah. Advantage Plus Best.
So walk us through what these are. What's the core idea and what exactly does the AI do within these campaigns?
Okay, so Advantage Plus campaigns are basically Meta's super automated campaign type. The main idea is using advanced machine learning to automate huge chunks of the advertising process, stuff that marketers used to spend hours, days doing manually.
So Meta's essentially saying, let our AI handle the complicated optimization bits.
Pretty much, yeah. Think of it as taking specific tasks off the human's plate. Tasks that used to need a lot of time and, frankly, expertise.
Okay, so what kind of tasks are we talking about? What does the source say this machine learning in Advantage Plus does automatically?
Well, one of the biggest areas, according to the source, is audience identification and targeting. You know how marketers used to spend ages researching demographics, interests, behaviors, building lookalikes?
Oh, yeah, endless tweaking.
Right. Advantage Plus aims to automate a lot of that. The AI analyzes signals to figure out the most relevant users for your specific campaign goal, without you needing to manually define all those super granular targeting parameters.
Wow, okay. That's a huge shift. So instead of me telling Meta, here's who I think my customer is, the AI is basically saying, based on your goal and my massive data, I'll find the people most likely to convert.
Exactly. It leans heavily on that deep behavioral data Meta has. And
Mhm.
beyond audiences, the source points out that Advantage Plus campaigns dynamically adjust bidding strategies in real time.
Real-time bidding adjustments.
Yeah. The AI is constantly watching performance signals, like minute by minute, and automatically shifting bids up or down, moving budget to where it sees the best chance of hitting your objective.
And that real-time piece is key, isn't it? Because a human just cannot react that fast.
Yeah.
Not across millions of auctions happening all at once. The AI has a massive advantage there.
Absolutely. That's where the machine excels. The source also says the AI handles placement optimization across the whole Meta family Facebook feed, Instagram stories, Reels, audience network, you name it.
So it decides where the ad should show up?
Yeah, it figures out if showing your ad on, say, Facebook feed versus an Instagram story is more likely to get the result you want at that specific moment for that specific user.
Yeah.
And it just puts it there automatically.
Okay. Audience, bidding, placement, and it even gets involved in the creative side a bit, doesn't it?
It does. The source mentions Advantage Plus campaigns can dynamically select and prioritize the best performing creative elements from a set you provide. So you upload multiple images, videos, headlines, descriptions, and the AI tests different combinations, automatically showing more of the variations that are driving the best results for your goal.
Okay, let me just recap that Advantage Plus picture then. The AI is finding audiences, setting bids, choosing placements, and picking winning creative combos, all largely on its own.
Yep.
That's a really significant delegation of optimization tasks.
Yeah.
It's like Meta embedding AI right into the core engine of how campaigns run.
It absolutely is. It shows Meta's strong belief that their machine learning, if you give it enough data and a clear goal, can just outperform humans in the sheer efficiency of these specific, very data-heavy optimization tasks.
Okay, Advantage Plus is the big campaign automation piece. What other AI-powered tools does the source mention that advertisers need to know about?
Well, the source also talks about AI-generated creative suggestions. Now, this is different from just optimizing existing creative combinations.
How so?
This is about the AI actually providing recommendations for new creatives you might want to develop.
Whoa, okay. So the AI analyzes past performance and trends and suggests what kind of images or videos or copy you should make next.
That's the idea, yeah. Based on analyzing performance data, maybe across the whole platform, maybe your own past campaigns, the source says Meta systems can offer specific advice, like suggesting ad formats that tend to work well for certain goals,
Interesting.
or recommending visual elements like certain themes or styles to include or maybe avoid based on performance data. It might even advise on things like text length, specific messaging angles, or even suggest calls to action that seem to drive better results.
This feels like AI is moving further up the workflow, doesn't it? Influencing decisions that used to be purely in the realm of human creative strategy and brainstorming.
It really does.
How does the source see this changing things for marketers and agencies?
Well, it fundamentally changes the starting point. Instead of just a blank slate or relying only on intuition for creative ideas, marketers can use these AI suggestions as a kind of data-backed jumping-off point.
So AI helps guide the creative direction.
Exactly. The AI isn't, designing the final ad yet, maybe, but it's definitely influencing the direction, the elements, the messaging. It challenges marketers to integrate data signals into their creative process in a new way. And it definitely raises questions about, where does purely human creativity fit in all this?
Yeah, fascinating how AI is touching both the super analytical optimization side and the traditionally more creative side. What else is in the toolkit, according to the source?
Automated A/B testing is another big one mentioned. The source specifically highlights this as a sophisticated form of multivariate testing.
Multivariate testing. Okay, unpack that jargon for us. What does it mean in practice, and how does the AI make it different?
Right, so multivariate testing basically means testing lots of different variables all at the same time, like maybe testing 3 different headlines, 4 different images, 2 different audience segments, and 3 different placements simultaneously to see which exact combination works best.
Okay, that sounds incredibly complicated to set up and analyze manually.
It is. It's super complex, very time-consuming, and often needs real statistical know-how to interpret the results correctly. The AI automates all that complexity. It can run these sophisticated multivariate tests way faster and analyze the results across way more combinations than a human team could realistically manage.
So instead of me testing headline A versus B, then image 1 versus 2 with the winning headline, then placement X versus Y, the AI just tests everything against everything all at once.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It dramatically speeds up finding those winning combinations of creative, audience, and placement. So advertisers can iterate and improve performance much faster and more efficiently than old-school manual A/B testing.
Got it. And there was one more AI system mentioned, which feels a bit different. Less about boosting campaign performance directly, more about the content environment itself, the AI labeling system.
That's right. The source mentions this system. It's not really a tool for advertisers to use in their campaigns, but it's Meta using AI in response to those growing worries about deceptive AI-generated content like deepfakes and misleading images or videos.
So this is Meta deploying AI to try and spot content that might have been made or heavily manipulated by other AI, like AI policing AI.
Essentially, yeah. It's a system designed to automatically detect and then flag images or videos that show signs of being significantly altered or generated by AI tools. The goal is more transparency for users scrolling their feeds, giving them a heads up that content might not be completely authentic.
Okay, so it's not directly an ad optimization tool. How does the source connect its relevance to this whole discussion about trusting Meta's AI for advertising?
Well, it impacts the overall environment where the ads appear.
Yeah.
And it tackles trust from a different angle, the integrity of the platform itself.
I see.
If users start losing trust in the content they see on Facebook or Instagram because it's full of deep fakes or misleading AI stuff, that erosion of trust could negatively affect how receptive they are to any content, including the ads.
Right. If the platform feels unreliable, maybe the ads feel less reliable too.
Exactly. So Meta, using AI to try and build trust in the environment, indirectly supports the effectiveness of advertising within that environment. It's about platform health being linked to ad effectiveness.
Got it. Okay, so the what of Meta's AI includes these sophisticated systems, automating campaigns, suggesting creative directions, speeding up complex testing, and even trying to keep the content environment more trustworthy. That's a really powerful set of tools.
It is.
Now, let's pivot to the why. We understand the toolkit now. Let's dig into the compelling arguments our source presents for why advertisers are actually embracing these Meta AI capabilities. What are the big benefits driving this adoption?
Well, the most persuasive argument, and often the one that gets everyone's attention first, is the promise of significantly improved performance metrics.
And the source puts a specific, really impactful number on that, doesn't it? It's not just a vague promise of better.
It definitely does. The source highlights research suggesting that AI-powered Meta ads deliver approximately 22% higher returns compared to campaigns optimized manually.
22% higher returns. Wow.
Yeah, that's a substantial number. For any business, especially in e-commerce or lead gen, that kind of uplift can directly translate into more profit, more growth.
22% isn't just tweaking. That could fundamentally change the economics of advertising for a lot of businesses. Does the source explain why the AI can achieve that kind of improvement?
It mainly attributes it to the AI's unmatched ability to process vast amounts of data and make those real-time adjustments at a speed and scale humans just can't replicate.
Right.
Think about the sheer volume of data. Meta sees every second user behavior, interactions, purchases, clicks.
A human can look at a report after the fact, maybe analyze aggregate data, but they can't possibly monitor and react to the billions of individual microsignals from millions of users in real time, constantly adjusting bids and placements based on immediate feedback.
Exactly. The AI lives in that real-time data stream. And the source backs this up with a quote attributed to Meta's chief AI officer, who basically says their AI analyzes billions of signals across user behavior to identify patterns and opportunities that would be impossible for human marketers to detect.
Billions of signals.
Yeah, that phrase really captures the AI's core advantage, doesn't it? Its ability to process and find meaning in data sets that are just too huge and complex for our human brains. It sees connections, correlations, predictive hints buried deep in the data that a human might never even know to look for, let alone process manually.
It really underlines that the AI's performance edge isn't just about doing things faster. It's about finding and acting on insights from data at a scale and granularity that's fundamentally beyond human analysis alone.
Okay, so raw performance lift is a massive driver. What about the day-to-day practical benefits for the marketing teams actually managing these ads? Efficiency and time savings are huge practical benefits, the source points out. For busy marketing teams, Maybe in agencies juggling lots of clients or in-house teams stretched thin, the automation AI provides is a major relief.
Less time spent on the tedious stuff means more time for what exactly?
Well, the source lists specific tasks that the AI can now handle automatically or semi-automatically. Things like manual work, audience testing, bid adjustments, and placement optimization.
All right.
Just imagine the hours that used to go into manually setting up detailed audience tests, constantly checking and tweaking bids all day, or manually shifting budgets between ad sets based on performance reports.
So the hope is this frees up the human marketers to focus their brainpower on higher level, more strategic activities, instead of getting bogged down in the constant tactical execution.
That's precisely the potential benefit. A shift in human effort, away from the repetitive, data-heavy execution towards tasks that really need unique human skills, like developing the overarching strategy, brainstorming truly innovative creative ideas, digging into deep customer insights, or making sure everything aligns with the brand's long-term vision.
That sounds like a powerful promise for marketers facing ever-increasing workloads. What about the bigger picture challenges, like all the changes happening around data privacy? How does Meta's AI fit into that puzzle?
This is a really critical point the source highlights. AI's growing value comes from its adaptability to privacy changes. With third-party cookies going away, browser tracking getting tighter, stricter privacy rules like GDPR and CCPA.
Yeah, the data landscape is definitely shifting.
Right, and the amount of detailed individual user data available for traditional targeting and measurement is shrinking.
So it seems counterintuitive. How does AI help maintain performance in a world with less granular individual data?
Well, the source explains that Meta's AI becomes increasingly valuable here because it's designed to work effectively, even without relying solely on that super detailed individual level tracking.
How does it do that?
By leveraging its power to spot complex patterns and make sophisticated predictions based on aggregated, anonymized information across its huge user base, it's less dependent on tracking one specific person across lots of different websites.
Ah, okay. So it's shifting from, I know exactly what user X did on these 20 sites, to something more like, based on the anonymized behavior patterns of millions of users who look like this, we predict people showing these signals are likely interested in this product or will respond to this message.
That's a great way to put it. It moves the reliance away from individual identity and explicit cross-site tracking towards large-scale behavioral modeling and predictive analytics, using the anonymized signals Meta sees within its own ecosystem.
That positions AI as a potential way to keep targeted advertising effective, even as those traditional privacy signals fade away.
The source implies it's a necessary path for maintaining ad effectiveness and relevance in a future where those old tracking methods are less available. It's kind of Meta's architectural answer to that changing digital world.
So it's not just about better performance now, but potentially about future-proofing performance for a more privacy-conscious internet.
That seems to be the argument, yes, offering a pathway for performance even with less granular data.
And the source also mentioned a significant benefit, especially for smaller businesses or those without huge marketing departments.
Yes, the source uses the term democratizes. It highlights how Meta's AI makes sophisticated marketing techniques and optimization power accessible to businesses that, in the past, simply wouldn't have had the resources, the time, the money, the expertise to implement them manually.
How does it democratize things? What's the difference?
Well, the source contrasts the past, where advanced optimization capabilities, previously available only to enterprises with large teams and budgets, are now effectively bundled into tools like Advantage Plus On. And these tools are accessible to smaller businesses, maybe even those without dedicated marketing teams or deep technical skills in ad optimization.
That makes a lot of sense. A small shop owner juggling everything or a small marketing team, they probably don't have the bandwidth or maybe the technical chops to build super complex audience strategies, run intricate multivariate tests, or constantly monitor and adjust bids across hundreds of ad sets.
Exactly.
So AI tools like Advantage Plus offer a kind of packaged version of that sophisticated optimization engine almost out of the box.
Right. If you're that small business owner or working on a lean team, AI potentially lets you leverage optimization power that used to be reserved for the big players with dedicated performance marketing gurus. It could really help level the playing field in terms of getting the most bang for your advertising buck.
Okay, so the case for embracing Meta's AI is definitely compelling. We're talking potential for dramatically better performance, big efficiency gains, adapting to the privacy evolution, and making advanced tools accessible to more businesses. It sounds incredibly powerful.
It does.
But as you flagged earlier, our source is very clear. Despite these impressive benefits, there are also very real, very valid reasons to approach these AI tools with caution. What are the potential downsides, the risks, the challenges advertisers need to be aware of, according to this source?
Absolutely. The source definitely balances the hype with a sober look at the risks. And maybe the biggest one, the one that fuels a lot of the hesitation, is what people call the black box problem.
The black box, yeah, we hear that term a lot with complex algorithms. What exactly does it mean when we're talking about Meta's ad AI?
So the core issue, as the source describes it, is that Meta's AI systems often operate as these opaque black boxes. As advertisers, we put things in our creatives, our budget, our campaign objective, like get purchases or generate leads.
Right, the inputs.
And we see the outputs, the campaign results, the cost per conversion, the return on ad spend.
But the steps the AI takes between the input and the output, those are hidden.
Pretty much, yeah. The source says the decision-making process in between remains opaque. We don't get a clear, detailed, human-readable explanation for why the AI decided to show ad A to user B at time C, or why it suddenly jacked up bids for one audience segment but cut them for another, or why creative variation X started performing way better from the AI's viewpoint.
And why is that lack of visibility a problem? I mean, if the AI is getting great results, does it really matter how it got there?
According to the source, yes, it matters a lot. This opaqueness makes it difficult to understand why campaigns succeed or fail. Think about it. If a campaign is a massive success, you don't know precisely which algorithmic choices were the key drivers. That makes it incredibly hard to learn strategically from that success and apply those insights to other campaigns or even other marketing channels.
Okay, I see.
And conversely, if a campaign tanks or performance drops off a cliff, you don't know what went wrong in the AI's mind. That makes effective troubleshooting and strategic course correction really difficult. You're basically left guessing or just randomly changing inputs.
So it really hinders the marketer's ability to learn, to build their own strategic understanding of what's working with their audience on the platform, and to iterate based on actual insight. It kind of fosters a dependency where you just trust the output without grasping the underlying dynamics.
That's a crucial point. It can potentially stunt the growth of human marketing intuition and analytical skills because that critical why is missing. You see the what of the result, but not the algorithmic how or why.
That makes the black box a pretty significant strategic hurdle. What's another major risk the source brings up?
Limited brand understanding. This is a big one. While AI is brilliant at crunching numbers and optimizing for quantitative goals, the source points out a key weakness. It struggles with nuance and subtlety.
Nuance and subtlety. Yeah, those feel like very human concepts.
They really are. And meta systems, the source argues, don't truly understand your brand voice, values, or the subtle context that might make certain messaging inappropriate despite appearing effective on paper. The AI optimizes for clicks or conversions or whatever metric you set, but it doesn't grasp the intangible stuff, the brand identity, the potential for a message to backfire reputationally.
So an AI might figure out that, say, really provocative or maybe slightly misleading headline gets a ton of clicks because it's optimizing for click-through rate.
Yeah.
But that headline could completely clash with the brand's carefully built image of being trustworthy or sophisticated.
Exactly that scenario.
Yeah.
The source actually shares a really telling anecdote about a marketing director at a big national retail brand. They found Meta's AI, in its drive for efficiency, started suggesting creative approaches that were technically effective. They got engagement, but were completely off-brand.
Oof.
Yeah. The AI was optimizing for those immediate clicks or responses without understanding the longer-term brand implications or the specific positioning the company was trying to maintain.
That's a critical risk for any established brand, isn't it? Short-term wins on ad metrics could come at a really high cost to long-term brand equity and customer trust. The AI is just laser-focused on the objective you give it within the platform's measurable goals, but it has zero inherent understanding of the bigger strategic picture of brand identity and perception.
It really highlights that optimizing for platform metrics isn't always the same thing as optimizing for overall business health, customer loyalty, or brand strength. They can sometimes be at odds.
Okay, the black box and limited brand, understanding those are serious concerns. What's the next potential pitfall mentioned in the source?
Dependency and skill atrophy. The source raises a red flag about the potential downside of relying too heavily on all this AI automation.
Okay, so if the AI is taking over more and more of the complex analytical and optimization work, What happens to the humans who used to do those jobs?
Well, the source warns that if marketers delegate too much strategic thinking and analysis entirely to the algorithms, it can lead to skill atrophy within their teams.
Skill atrophy. What specific skills are most at risk of fading if people lean too much on AI?
The source specifically points to the potential loss of analytical skills and intuitive understanding that drive genuine innovation. If the AI is always the one crunching the numbers, spotting the patterns, making the tactical calls, marketers might lose their own ability to independently dive into performance data, figure out the root causes of success or failure, form their own hypotheses, and develop that deep, intuitive grasp of their audience's behavior that goes beyond what the AI dashboard tells them.
It's like relying so completely on your car's GPS that you forget how to read a map or navigate by landmarks.
That's a perfect analogy. And maintaining and growing those uniquely human analytical and intuitive skills is vital. Because even with powerful AI tools, humans still need to set the overall strategy, interpret the AI's output in the context of the bigger market and business realities, and, importantly, drive the truly novel breakthrough ideas that the AI isn't programmed to come up with on its own.
That warning about skill atrophy feels particularly relevant in an industry changing as fast as this one. And the final major concern, the source flags.
Creative homogenization. The source voices concern that as more and more advertisers adopt the same AI-optimized approaches and start using AI-generated creative suggestions, we run a real risk of creative homogenization across the platform.
Creative homogenization? What does that actually look like? Do all the ads just start looking and sounding the same?
Potentially, yeah. The argument is, if everyone is using the same algorithmic best practices, figuring out the statistically optimal image styles, video lengths, headline structures, call to action phrases based on the same underlying AI and data.
Right.
And if everyone feeds similar inputs into that system, the outputs might naturally converge towards a similar algorithmically defined look and feel and messaging style.
So if the AI learns that, say, bright yellow backgrounds with short, punchy headlines and a Shop Now button perform best, and everyone starts making ads like that, then ads from totally different brands might start feeling indistinguishable in your feed.
That's exactly the risk. The source points out that when everyone is effectively following the same AI-generated best practices, it poses a huge challenge. Standing out becomes increasingly difficult.
Yeah.
In a super crowded competitive ad space, if your ad looks and sounds just like everyone else's, it's obviously much harder to grab attention and differentiate your brand.
That's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? AI is designed to make your individual ads perform better, but collectively, it might make the entire advertising environment less distinct, making it harder for any single ad to really cut through the noise in the long run.
It really highlights that tension between optimizing for immediate, measurable efficiency within the platform and the fundamental marketing need for uniqueness, creativity, and brand differentiation to actually capture attention and build preference in a competitive world.
Okay, so we've laid out a picture of incredibly powerful tools with undeniable upsides, but also some significant interconnected risks around transparency, brand alignment, losing human skills, and maybe even making everything look the same. It's clearly not a simple good or bad.
Definitely not.
So how do you navigate this complex reality? Our source provides a strategic framework mainly aimed at agencies advising clients, but honestly, the principles seem valuable for any business or marketer using or thinking about using Met ads with AI. The core idea isn't if you should use AI, but how you use it strategically with human oversight to get the benefits while managing the risks.
That's the central theme of this part. It's about practical implementation using AI responsibly. And the very first principle in this framework is define clear boundaries.
Okay, so drawing explicit lines in the sand, deciding which decisions the AI gets to make on its own, and which ones absolutely need human input, review, or ultimate control.
Exactly. The source suggests creating formal guidelines, maybe even like a decision matrix, that clearly spells out the roles of the AI versus the human in managing the campaigns.
Does the source give examples of how you might categorize these decisions in such a matrix?
Yes. It proposes thinking in 3 tiers. First, AI-driven decisions.
Okay.
These are tasks where the AI operates pretty autonomously based on the parameters you set. Examples given are things like budget allocation between different ad sets, the AI dynamically shifts spending to the best performers, or real-time bid adjustments, those constant micro-tweaks, and maybe minor creative testing, like optimizing the rotation of approved ads or small variations. These are tasks where the AI speed and data crunching are really its strength.
Makes sense. What's the next tier?
Second, human-reviewed decisions. Here, the AI might generate suggestions or even take initial actions, but a human marketer must review and sign off before anything goes live or significantly impacts the campaign.
Okay, what falls into this bucket?
Examples include core brand messaging, obviously critical for voice and values. High-level audience strategy, defining who you're fundamentally trying to reach. And overall creative direction, the main concept, the look and feel. These are areas sensitive to nuance, brand integrity, things the AI doesn't grasp.
Got it. And the third category?
Third is collaborative decisions. These are areas where AI and humans work together. The AI provides valuable data, performance insights, maybe predictive analysis, but the final strategic decision and direction are set by humans.
Like what?
Examples given are things like the initial campaign structure setup, how you organize everything, interpreting the performance analysis, understanding why the AI did what it did and what that means strategically, and defining the overall optimization strategy, setting the big goal and the framework the AI needs to operate within.
Why is setting up this clear matrix, these explicit boundaries, so fundamentally important when you're working with AI?
The source really emphasizes that this is critical because it ensures the AI works within a human-defined strategy instead of accidentally becoming the strategy itself. It's about stopping the AI from making choices that might look efficient based on one narrow metric in the short term, but are actually bad for the brand, don't align with bigger business goals, or are just totally opaque. It puts the human brain firmly back in control of the strategic direction while still leveraging AI for the tactical heavy lifting within those defined guardrails.
That seems like a really practical and essential first step. AI for execution, humans for strategy and setting the rules. What's the second principle in the source's framework?
Implementing tiered oversight. The source makes the point that not all ad campaigns carry the same weight, same level of risk, same strategic importance. So they argue the level of human scrutiny applied to AI-managed campaigns shouldn't be one-size-fits-all. It should be tiered.
Okay, so you don't need to micromanage every single campaign with the same intensity.
Exactly. The source suggests categorizing campaigns based on their nature. You'd have high-oversight campaigns.
Which ones are those?
These are things like brand new campaigns you're launching, campaigns with really sensitive brand messagings or big promotions, or initiatives with very large budgets. These have higher risk or strategic importance, so they need frequent, detailed human review and potential intervention.
Okay, high risk, high attention. What's next?
Then medium oversight. This would be for more iterative campaigns that are already running with established parameters and goals. They're less risky than something totally new, but still need regular human attention for performance monitoring, making small adjustments, and strategic refinements.
Makes sense. And the last tier?
Light oversight. This is for those always-on campaigns that have a proven track record of stable, predictable performance. They don't fluctuate much. These just need periodic, less frequent human checks to make sure everything's still ticking along within expected parameters.
This sounds like a really pragmatic way to manage your team's time and energy. Instead of spreading everyone thin, trying to watch absolutely everything constantly, you focus the valuable human attention where it's most needed on the new stuff, the high-stakes projects, or any campaign that starts behaving unexpectedly.
Exactly. It allows for efficient allocation of that human expertise, making sure strategic and analytical time is spent where human insight and intervention will make the biggest difference, while letting the AI handle the routine maintenance of the stable, predictable campaigns.
Okay, so define boundaries, implement tiered oversight. What's the third key part of this framework?
Establishing performance guardrails. This is about setting up automated alerts or triggers. Systems that automatically flag when an AI-managed campaign starts deviating significantly from what you want it to do, signaling that a human needs to step in and take a look.
So basically setting specific thresholds or indicators that, if crossed, automatically raise a red flag for human review.
Precisely. These guardrails act like an early warning system. The source gives some concrete examples of the kinds of thresholds that should trigger a human review.
Like what?
Like cost per acquisition increases by more than 20%. If your cost to get a lead or sale suddenly spikes, that's a strong sign the AI might be optimizing poorly or hitting a wall, and a human needs to figure out why.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or click-through rate drops below a predetermined benchmark. A sudden dip in CTR could signal creative fatigue, audience saturation, relevance issues, things the AI's optimization might not be catching, requiring human diagnosis.
Right.
Another example they give is ad frequency exceeds 3 per user in a 7-day period. Now, that 3 is just an illustration, the source notes, but the point is the AI might see showing the ad more often is efficient for clicks.
But hitting someone with the same ad too often can obviously lead to annoyance and negative sentiment.
Exactly, which the AI might not account for if it's only optimizing for immediate clicks or conversions.
Mm.
So a frequency cap guardrail is crucial for user experience.
These performance guardrails seem absolutely essential, like safety nets, right?
Yeah.
They prevent the AI from, I don't know, optimizing itself into a corner or letting performance completely tank for days before a human notices and intervenes.
There are critical control mechanisms, yeah. They let the AI optimize freely within the boundaries you set, but they ensure that if its behavior goes outside acceptable strategic limits, a human gets alerted and can step in before too much budget is wasted or the brand gets hurt.
Got it. And the fourth and final piece of this strategic framework.
Conducting regular AI audits. Now, this goes beyond just the daily or weekly performance checks. This involves periodically taking a step back to conduct a deeper, more strategic review of your AI-managed campaigns.
What should these regular audits focus on, according to the source? What are the humans looking for that maybe the AI isn't explicitly reporting or optimizing for?
The source suggests these audits should examine things crucial to overall business health and strategic alignment, things the AI focused solely on platform metrics might miss,
Such as,
like audience composition and quality. Is the AI finding the right kind of long-term customers or just the cheapest ones to reach right now? Are they actually high lifetime value customers?
good point.
Also, creative direction and brand alignment. Are the ads the AI is favoring and delivering actually staying consistent with the brand voice, the values, the visual identity? Or has the AI drifted towards off-brand messaging or aesthetics just because it drove engagement?
Checking that brand consistency.
Yeah, and competitive differentiation. In that potentially homogenized ad landscape we talked about, are your AI-managed ads still managing to stand out from competitors who are likely also using AI? Or are they starting to blend in?
Keeping an eye on distinctiveness.
And critically, long-term metrics beyond immediate ROAS. Are the AI's short-term optimizations actually contributing positively to your bigger business goals? Things like customer lifetime value, overall brand equity, maybe offline sales impact, or true profitability, not just the return on ad spend number shown inside the Meta platform.
This ties back directly to those big concerns, the limited brand understanding and the black box problem. These audits are essentially the human strategic check on the AI's tactical execution, making sure the efficiency gains aren't coming at the cost of the broader human-defined strategy and brand health.
Exactly. It's about ensuring that strategic alignment and long-term thinking don't get sacrificed on the altar of short-term algorithmic efficiency. It's a proactive way to keep the AI as a powerful tool serving the strategy, not accidentally replacing the strategy itself.
Okay, that's a really comprehensive framework for agencies or internal teams actually doing the work. Define boundaries, use tiered oversight, set up performance guardrails, and conduct regular strategic audits. But what if you're on the other side? What if you're a business owner, a client, hiring an agency to run your meta ads, knowing they're probably going to use AI?
Right.
You need some way to know your agency is handling this technology responsibly and strategically, not just, flipping the advantage plus switch and hoping for the best. Our source provides some really essential questions clients should be asking their agencies.
Yeah, these questions are designed to help clients gauge if an agency really has a sophisticated, responsible approach to integrating AI, to make sure the client's brand and business goals are still the top priority.
So question number one, the source recommends clients ask their agency is, what's your philosophy on AI automation?
This is foundational. The agency should have a clear, thoughtful position on how they see the balance between AI automation and human strategy. You want to hear that they've actually thought about this, that they have a methodology, a point of view.
What should clients watch out for in the answer?
The source warns against agencies taking extreme positions, like either totally rejecting AI, which might suggest they're behind the times, or, maybe more concerningly, delegating almost everything to algorithms without much human oversight, which suggests a lack of strategic control.
You're looking for an agency that sees AI as a powerful tool that needs to be guided strategically by human expertise, not a magic bullet, or something to be ignored or feared.
Exactly. Their answers should show they understand both the power and the limitations of AI. Okay, second question. How do you maintain brand safety?
This hits directly on that critical concern about AI's limited brand understanding we discussed.
It absolutely does. Clients need to ask for specifics. What's the agency's actual process for making sure AI-driven campaigns won't inadvertently damage your brand through inappropriate placements or messaging? How do they implement creative guardrails? What's their review process for AI-suggested or AI-favored creative? Can they give examples of how they've stopped AI from going off-brand for other clients?
So, probing whether they have real, practical systems in place to prevent the AI from optimizing for clicks or conversions at the expense of the brand's reputation. What's the third key question?
What's your process for human oversight? This is where clients can really dig into whether the agency is putting those framework principles, tiered oversight, guardrails, into practice.
So basically asking them, show me your tiered oversight system, or tell me about your performance guardrails.
Precisely. The agency should be able to articulate a specific process for human review. How often are campaign results and AI decisions looked at by a human strategist? What specific performance thresholds or weird behaviors trigger a mandatory human deep dive into what the AI is doing? They should have concrete answers, not just vague assurances.
This makes sure the agency isn't just setting the AI loose and walking away, but has a structured system for monitoring, reviewing, and stepping in when needed. Okay, fourth question.
How do you measure success beyond Meta's dashboard? This one is crucial because, as the source pointed out, Meta's AI is inherently built to optimize for metrics within Meta's own platform.
Right. And those platform metrics like ROAS or CPA don't always paint the full picture of actual business success.
Exactly. Clients need to know how the agency connects those numbers inside Meta to the client's real business outcomes. Ask them specifically how they measure and report on things like customer lifetime value, brand equity, or offline conversions. How do they demonstrate that the AI's efficiency on Meta is actually translating into tangible, long-term value for your specific business?
This really pushes the agency to think beyond just pleasing Meta's algorithm and show how their work actually contributes to the client's bottom line and overall growth. And the fifth and final recommended question.
What proprietary knowledge do you bring?
What does that mean exactly? Especially when AI tools like Advantage Plus are becoming available to pretty much everyone.
Well, the source emphasizes that in this new environment where the basic AI tools are widely accessible, the unique value of a truly good agency comes less from just having access to the tools and more from their strategic expertise in managing and interpreting those tools effectively for each client. So ask them what specialized knowledge they offer that goes beyond simply activating Meta's tools. Do they have unique strategic frameworks for structuring campaigns that work well with AI? Do they have proprietary methods for analyzing AI results? Specific strategies for blending human creativity with AI suggestions effectively? Unique approaches to those audits or guardrails we talked about.
So you're not just hiring them to turn on the AI features. You're hiring them for their unique expertise, their accumulated experience, their strategic methodologies that make the AI work optimally and safely for your specific business goals and brand.
Precisely. Their answer should really articulate the unique value proposition they bring to the table, beyond just knowing how to click the buttons in Ads Manager to enable the AI.
These questions seem absolutely vital for any client vetting an agency for meta advertising in this AI era. They give you a clear roadmap to understand the agency's approach and ensure they're balancing strategic guidance and brand protection with algorithmic efficiency. Now, to make all these concepts even more concrete, our source shares two contrasting examples, actual case studies from their client work. These really illustrate the framework in action, showing when leveraging AI the right way leads to success, and unfortunately, sometimes when getting that balance wrong causes real problems.
Yeah, case studies are so helpful for seeing how these principles actually play out. Let's start with the success story. An e-commerce retailer.
Okay, what was the approach they used with this retailer that works so well?
The source calls it a hybrid approach. They strategically used Meta's Advantage plus shopping campaigns, which, as we know, are highly automated and specifically built to optimize for e-commerce purchases to handle the dynamic optimization of delivering product ads.
So they let the AI do its thing for finding people likely to buy specific products, setting bids for those sales, placing the product ads efficiently.
Yes, they leaned into the AI's strength for optimizing direct, quantifiable conversions in that e-commerce context. But, and this is critical, the source stresses they did this while maintaining human oversight of broader brand messaging.
So they didn't just hand everything over.
No. Human strategists and creatives kept control over the high-level brand communications, the overall creative concepts, making sure the messaging stayed true to the retailer's brand identity and values.
Okay, so AI handles the tactical, product-level optimization, while humans manage the strategic, brand-level communication. That makes sense. And what were the results? Did this hybrid approach pay off, according to the source?
The source gives some really impressive specific metrics. They saw a 37% reduction in cost per purchase.
Wow, 37% cheaper customer acquisition.
Yeah, and a 22% increase in return on ad spend.
Mm-hmm.
So for every dollar they spent, they got significantly more revenue back.
Also huge.
Plus a 15% improvement in new customer acquisition. So they weren't just selling more to existing customers, they were actually growing their customer base more effectively.
Those are fantastic results across key e-commerce KPIs. And what does the source pinpoint as the key factor behind this success?
The source concludes the key was clear boundary setting. By deliberately defining which decisions the AI made autonomously, like the granular optimization within Advantage Plus shopping, and which decisions needed human review and control, like the strategic brand messaging and overall creative direction. They successfully harnessed the AI's computational power for efficiency while preserving essential human strategic control over the brand itself. It's a perfect real-world example of that first framework principle.
That's a great illustration of getting the balance right. Now let's flip the coin and look at the cautionary tale, a professional services firm. What went wrong in this case?
This example really underscores the risks when you give AI too much freedom in areas that require nuance and affect brand perception. The source admits that, with this client, they initially allowed Meta's AI too much freedom in message testing.
Ooh, letting AI run wild with message testing for a professional services firm. That sounds like exactly the kind of situation where that limited brand understanding risk would bite you.
It absolutely is. Professional services depend so heavily on trust, demonstrating expertise, managing expectations carefully, and the source says, while the initial ad performance metrics look strong when the AI had free rein on messaging.
They got clicks or leads.
Yeah, but they soon realized the AI was favoring message variations that, while effective at grabbing attention, promised unrealistic results and created misaligned expectations among the potential clients clicking through.
Ouch. So the AI, just optimizing for a metric like click-through rate or maybe lead form fills, was essentially promoting messages that weren't totally accurate or that oversold what the firm could actually deliver just because those messages got clicked.
Exactly. The AI was hitting the immediate goal, get the click, get the lead, but had zero understanding of the crucial human context, the importance of the long-term client relationship what the firm could realistically deliver, or the potential damage from making misleading promises that erode trust and reputation down the line.
What was the fallout from that mistake for the firm?
The source highlights the significant negative impact. It was actively risking damage to their client relationships and the firm's hard-won reputation. Getting leads based on unrealistic promises is obviously terrible for business health in the long run, even if the cost per lead number on the dashboard looks good temporarily.
That's a powerful, painful lesson. So what course correction did they have to make?
They had to quickly pivot and implement stricter creative guidelines and increase human review of AI-suggested variations. Basically, they reined in the AI's autonomy over messaging and creative direction, reasserting human control over those highly sensitive elements.
And what happened after they made that change? Did things just go back to normal, or were there trade-offs involved?
The source is honest about the complexity. After they tightened the human controls and reduced the AI's creative freedom, the performance metrics temporarily decreased. The cost per lead probably went up.
Okay.
However, and this is a crucial takeaway, client satisfaction and retention improved significantly.
Wow, that perfectly encapsulates the core tension, doesn't it? Optimizing for Meta's internal metrics, like getting the cheapest possible lead, isn't always the same thing as optimizing for overall business health, like keeping clients happy and retaining them long-term. Sometimes doing the right thing for your brand means accepting slightly less efficient performance according to the platform's dashboard.
It's such a stark reminder that human oversight and strategic judgment are absolutely non-negotiable, especially for things like messaging and creative that directly shape brand perception and customer expectations. AI is an amazing tool for efficiency, but it's not a substitute for strategic wisdom and being a guardian of the brand.
These case studies are incredibly helpful for grounding the framework and showing the real stakes involved. They make it clear that navigating Meta's AI isn't just theory. It requires very deliberate, strategic choices about where you let it run and where you keep a firm hand on the wheel. Okay, Meta obviously isn't standing still. This technology is evolving incredibly fast. What does our source say about where Meta's AI capabilities are likely heading in the future? What should advertisers be keeping an eye out for?
The source points to several key directions where Meta is probably going to push its AI capabilities even further.
The first one sounds like a pretty big leap beyond what we've discussed, increased creative generation.
Yes, we talked about AI suggesting creative ideas, but the source looks ahead to the move towards fully automated creative generation. This is where the AI doesn't just optimize existing ads or suggest elements, but actually starts creating new ad variations, new images, new copy based on its analysis of performance data.
So the AI could potentially design whole new ads from scratch, or significant parts of them.
That seems to be the trajectory. And the source suggests this raises some significant new questions, especially around creative ownership and brand control.
Yeah, like who owns the copyright to an image the AI generated?
Right. And how do brands ensure that this AI-generated content, which is being optimized purely for performance metrics, still stays perfectly aligned with their nuanced brand voice, their visual standards, their values? It really pushes the boundaries of human-AI collaboration further into the creative realm.
That definitely moves AI into territory traditionally considered exclusively human. What's the second trend the source sees coming?
Cross-platform optimization. The source anticipates Meta's AI getting much better at optimizing campaigns, not just within Facebook or Instagram, but seamlessly across the entire family of apps and beyond.
So optimizing across Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, maybe even things like connected TV or VR environments as Meta builds out ad capabilities there.
Exactly, optimizing across that whole ecosystem.
What's the implication of AI optimizing across all these different touch points?
It means the AI will be tasked with building and optimizing more sophisticated customer journeys that span multiple platforms. It'll try to figure out how users move between these apps and strategically place ads or interactions on different platforms at different times to guide them towards conversion, optimizing the whole sequence across the journey.
That sounds incredibly powerful for reaching people wherever they are within the meta universe, but also adds another huge layer of complexity to understanding and managing the overall user experience and how often people are seeing your ads across all these channels.
It definitely increases the scale and complexity of the optimization problem the AI is tackling, moving from single-channel efficiency to true cross-channel journey management.
What about advances on the analytics and planning side? Anything expected there?
Enhanced predictive analytics. The Force expects Meta to integrate more sophisticated predictive capabilities directly into the advertising tools.
What would those kinds of capabilities allow advertisers to do?
They'd likely allow advertisers to forecast performance across different spending scenarios before committing budget.
Ah, like a simulator.
Kind of. Imagine using the AI to model, based on its vast historical data and predictive power, what kind of results, impressions, clicks, conversions, costs you might expect if you allocated X budget to this audience versus Y budget to that audience before you actually spend the money.
That could radically change how budget planning and forecasting happen, making them much more data-driven and potentially way more accurate.
It could, yeah. It moves AI's influence even further upstream in the marketing process, potentially shaping strategic planning and resource allocation decisions before campaigns even get built.
And finally, something that addresses one of the biggest concerns we highlighted earlier. Does the source expect Meta to offer greater transparency tools?
Yes. The source notes there's an expectation, maybe a hope, that Meta will likely develop and release more transparent reporting on AI decision-making. This is largely in response to ongoing advertiser demand for clear insights into what the heck the AI is actually doing.
Yeah, if the black box is a major source of frustration and distrust, more transparency would be a huge step forward.
It really would. The hope is these tools would give advertisers clearer insights into why algorithms make specific recommendations, or choices maybe providing more data points or some kind of explanation for the AI's behavior. While it might not fully open the black box, even giving partial visibility into the factors driving AI decisions could significantly help marketers understand performance, build smarter strategies, and just feel more comfortable trusting the system.
That would definitely help ease some of the frustration of not knowing why a campaign suddenly took off or fell flat from the AI's perspective.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've explored the tools, the powerful benefits, the very real concerns, a strategic framework for managing AI, key questions for clients, illuminating case studies, and a look at where Meta's AI might be headed next. Pulling all of this together, what's the overarching strategic imperative? What's the core philosophy our source recommends for successfully navigating this evolving landscape? Synthesizing everything. The central principle the source advocates is the strategic imperative of combining human strategic direction with AI-powered execution.
So the message is definitely not AI replacing humans in advertising.
Absolutely not. The source is very clear. The goal isn't AI replacing human marketers, but AI empowering human marketers who operate from a strong strategic foundation. The source even lays out a clear, recommended division of labor based on this principle.
Let's spell out that division of labor as the source sees it. What should humans own and what should the AI own for this partnership to work best?
Okay, according to the source, for this to be successful, humans should define the big picture strategic stuff. That includes the strategic framework, brand positioning, target audience profiles, campaign objectives, and creative direction.
So the high-level thinking.
Yeah. Who are we as a brand? Who are we trying to reach? What business results do we need? What's the core message and feeling we want to convey? That's the human's job, the why, and the strategic what.
Okay. And the AI's role. AI should operate within that human-defined framework. Its job is to optimize the tactical execution elements, things like bid adjustments, placement selection, and creative testing, within the approved human variations. This is the efficient, real-time how executing the plan within the boundaries and towards the goals set by the humans.
Got it. And the third part?
Humans should regularly review the AI's performance and behavior. This means stepping back consistently to review performance, refine the strategy, and ensure alignment with broader business goals. This is that crucial oversight loop, interpreting what the AI's results actually mean, adjusting the strategy or the guardrails based on human insight, and making sure the tactical execution isn't drifting away from the overall mission.
That division feels incredibly logical and plays to the strengths of each, doesn't it? Humans bring the strategic vision, the brand understanding, the long-term perspective, the nuanced judgment. AI brings the speed, the data processing muscle, the efficiency for executing within that vision.
It really puts the human brain where it adds the most value in strategic thinking, creative conception, nuanced interpretation, while leveraging the AI for the heavy computational lifting and real-time optimization of those repetitive, data-intensive tasks.
And the source included a great quote from a CMO that perfectly captures this idea of AI as an amplifier for human strategy.
Yes, it's a powerful line that really sums it up. We don't need AI to tell us who we are or what we stand for.
Yeah.
We need it to help us communicate those things more effectively to the right people.
Help us communicate those things more effectively. That's the key phrase, isn't it? AI isn't creating the identity or the strategy. It's framed here as an incredibly potent tool to amplify and optimize the delivery of a message and strategy that is fundamentally defined by humans. It helps the human strategy get to the right audience more efficiently.
Exactly. It positions AI as an indispensable partner for execution and optimization, but one that absolutely must be directed and overseen by human strategic intelligence and brand stewardship.
Okay, let's try to distill everything we've unpacked in this very comprehensive deep dive into the source material. What are the absolute must-know points, the key takeaways, that anyone trying to understand and navigate Meta's AI advertising should walk away with?
Okay, first, Meta's AI advertising tools genuinely offer significant performance advantages when they're managed properly. The source confirms the potential for better efficiency, adapting better to privacy changes, and real cost savings or higher returns. The upside is compelling.
But those benefits come with significant risks that absolutely have to be acknowledged and actively managed.
Exactly. Takeaway 2. The risks are real, but they are manageable with proper oversight. These include that black box problem of not knowing why, the potential for brand misalignment because the AI lacks nuance, the danger of strategic dependency and skills fading if humans delegate too much, and that risk of creative homogenization making it tough to stand out.
So the path forward isn't blind trust, but strategic managed trust.
Precisely. Which brings us to takeaway 3. The ideal approach, recommended by the source, is that deliberate combination of human strategy with AI execution. This means setting up clear, defined boundaries for what the algorithm handles on its own versus what needs human review and strategic direction.
And for agencies operating in this space, their value proposition has to evolve.
Yes. Takeaway 4. Agencies can't just rely on knowing how to turn on Meta's AI tools anymore. They need to develop proprietary approaches, unique frameworks, and strategic methods for managing AI effectively that go beyond just basic tool activation. Their human expertise in guiding and interpreting the AI is where their real value increasingly lies.
And for clients hiring those agencies, asking the right questions up front is absolutely critical.
That's takeaway 5. Clients need to be ready to ask those pointed questions about the agency's philosophy on AI, how they protect brand safety, their specific process for human oversight, how they measure success beyond just Meta's dashboard metrics, and what unique strategic knowledge they bring to the table for managing AI effectively.
And the final synthesis, the guiding principle from all this.
The core takeaway is, the question isn't really whether to trust Meta's AI, but how to trust it appropriately. It's about carefully calibrating how much freedom you give the AI to leverage its computational strengths in areas like real-time optimization and massive data processing, while fiercely maintaining human control and oversight over the crucial strategic elements that define your brand, your business objectives, and your relationship with your customers.
This has been a really insightful deep dive into navigating the complexities of Meta's big push into AI advertising, all grounded in a source that clearly gets the landscape from a practical, hands-on perspective. We've systematically walked through the specific tools, the powerful reasons driving adoption, the very real concerns demanding caution, a strategic framework for managing AI, key questions for clients, and those illuminating real-world case studies.
And we looked ahead at where this tech is likely headed next, from more automated creative to better predictive tools.
It's crystal clear that this fundamental shift in how Meta runs its ad platform impacts pretty much everyone involved in trying to reach customers online, no matter your business size or your role. Whether you run ads yourself, you're part of an in-house team, or you work with an agency, understanding this critical balance between human strategy and AI execution is going to be absolutely vital for success in the months and years ahead.
Getting that balance right really is the key to unlocking AI's incredible potential while sidestepping those significant pitfalls.
So as AI gets more and more sophisticated, capable not just of optimizing, but maybe even creating content and predicting outcomes with ever greater accuracy, here's a final thought to leave you with, something to chew on. What does this rapid evolution really mean for the future role of purely human creativity and strategic intuition in advertising? How do you actively cultivate, protect, and maybe even enhance those uniquely human skills? The deep empathy, the nuanced cultural reads, the unexpected creative spark in a world where powerful algorithms are handling more and more of the tactical process. Something to think about as you integrate these tools.
It's indeed a crucial question for the future of the entire profession.
Until the next deep dive, stay curious, stay strategic, and keep learning.
Thanks for listening to the Mixed Media Ventures podcast. To see the corresponding blog post, head over to www.mixedmediaventures.com now. Thanks again for dropping by, and see you next episode.